My name's Debbie and welcome to My Rose Cottage. This is my first floss tube and I thought we would start off by learning how to floss tube. It is a little bit tricky and there are some things you need to know. I've learned this the hard way. So let me give you a little background story on why I decided to do a floss tube. I've cross-stitched for a long time, but my husband started cross-stitching and so he became the cross-stitcher in the family. I generally pick projects and I do little things here and there, but he's the one that's done most of the cross-stitch. Well, as I've been sewing, I always have to watch something, and I usually watch something so that I can still sew but pay attention. And so one day I started watching Flosstube. Well, as you're watching, pretty soon you're going, oh, I like that. Oh, I want one of those. Oh, I need that. Oh my gosh, I have to have that. So I started making lists and I started writing it down, and as soon as I'd see it, I'd go over to whatever store that I could find it at, Fat Quarter Shop, the Stitching Center, there's all kinds of different ones online, and I started buying all this stuff. Well, I saw things on hoops, I saw things on stands, I saw things on the fabric, on needles, so I just kind of kept buying and buying because all these people are making the cutest things and I just knew we needed them all. So eventually all this stuff started coming in the mail. So one day my husband says, what is all this stuff you keep ordering? I said, oh, I got a new hoop, I got a new stand, I got a stand-up stand, I got one for sitting at the table. And he looks at me and he says, for who? And I said, well, for you, I guess, because you're the one that cross stitches, so for you. But it all looks so fun, so I just knew we needed it. He goes, I do not have enough time to stitch all of this stuff that you just bought, so I guess you're going to be cross stitching again. So that's how this started. And he's not very good at doing more than one project at a time. You know how they do the like, oh, Mania May, and everybody has like 20 projects going and all these different bags. Well, Kelly could not do that. He likes to work on one project, just one, all the time until it's completely done. Now, I always have several projects going, and so I can tend to do a little bit more of that than him. He gets finished a lot more than I do, but that's how this whole Flosstube thing began, where I got carried away, and this is the results. So as you can see, this is carried away, and this is only part of it. I could not find everything to show you today, but I'll find it and show you. But see, I had to make new project bags. There's a few of those. There's even some needle holders. There's bags from Fat Quarter Shop, from DotDotGoose. There's patterns. I put those on my wall because I want to do those next. That one's one of my patterns at the top. Because of course, once you start doing this, you end up designing patterns. There's my stand. There's one of my free patterns on my website, so be sure and go look at that. But all of this stuff was from me watching Flosstube. So pay attention to the next part on how to watch Flosstube and what you need to do. And remember, this is very, very addicting. So make sure you pay attention and follow my guidelines to help you watch Flosstube. There are so many beautiful, fun patterns that you're going to want to watch lots of Flosstube to get plenty of ideas and lots of different things that you may want to stitch. Okay, then the one thing that I learned is you need a little table. Now this was a great idea. I got this idea from my friend Lori. It's just like a peanut. And these are all the essentials that you need. You're going to need your remote. You're going to need your iPad. You're going to need a notebook, a pencil, an extra notebook. And I use washi tape, and I'll show you what I use that for in a minute. but you want to be ready. Oh, and a drink. You got to have a drink. So you are ready. Go to the bathroom first. Now sit down. So you're going to sit down with in your chair. You're nice and comfy. Now, you also need your credit card. Your credit card is very important because as soon as you see it, you want to go buy it, because there are some things on some places, the minute they post it and you go and find it, it's going to be gone everywhere. So you don't want to take a lot of time by having to hunt for your card. Get it ready. Have your card sitting here, your iPad sitting here. Now, why I have my iPad, I usually have my iPad and my phone. But my iPad is, so as soon as I see something, I can take my remote, pause it, go find it, add it to a cart. Doesn't mean I bought it yet, I just add it to the cart. Because for one thing, you might want to buy a bunch more. So you don't want to check out as soon as you buy something, as soon as you see something. So unless it might be popular, but I think you'll be okay if you're just watching when they very first post it. If it's a few days later, you might want to buy it. But you're going to pause your video. You're going to take your notebook, write down what it's called. And I love these lister books because they're smaller. You can just put the name of it. And this is where my washi tape comes in. I usually pick one. When you're watching YouTube, you're going to see a whole bunch of really cute things. And I'm not kidding, you're going to want them all. But you're not going to buy them all. You're going to kind of pick and choose, especially when you're just getting started. So you're going to go down the list. If it's something that was really, really cute that you really want, I take a piece of washi tape, rip it off, and put it right next to what's on my list. Okay, then I just set that back down. And as you can see, my list kind of keeps growing and growing. And you want to make sure that you have for what you're writing with, either a pen or I like these pencils that have the lead in them so that you always have lead and you can keep going. Because when you run out of ink or you run out of pencil, you have to get up and go find one. You can pause the show, but somebody else might not be pausing. They might keep going. And so you've got to make sure you've got all your things ready. The extra notebook is one thing that I've learned is some of these places have cross stitches, but they also have quilt patterns that match the cross stitches, like Fat Quarter Shop. They're really good at that. Lori Holt has several. A lot of the new fabric designers, quilt designers, are now starting to do that. So I have an extra notebook so that I can write down the name of the quilt in case it's a quilt I want to do. Sometimes you don't really want to do them, you just want to do the cross stitch, or vice versa. You might see the cross stitch and think, but you see the quilt and go, oh, I really want to make that. So I have two separate notebooks, one for each. I always have my iPad so I can look up to do my ordering. I put everything in my cart. Plus I also sometimes will go look up who they're talking about, because they'll give you a list of people too. So maybe you're watching, one of my very favorites is Christy from Crosshatch Quilts. I love her YouTube channel. She does some really cute cross stitches in every single one I want to do. Although some of hers look very hard. And you'll find that too. But so when you're watching, they'll refer you to other people. So I can sit here with my iPad and hurry and go to their channel, or look them up on Instagram, or go to Facebook and see what they've got going on there while I'm listening to the rest of what they're saying. So your iPad is a very valuable tool. You really, really need that. The other thing is, as you get ready and you're doing a lot of them, you want to remember a lot of times they have giveaways. And so you want to sign up, you want to comment and do things for the giveaways. But also remember there's an etiquette in doing Flosstube. Everybody in the Flosstube community is so nice and so sweet. So please make nice comments. If you've got something rude to say, go over to a different group to watch instead of them. Because it's all nice people and they really like having nice comments and things. So if you don't like the way somebody's hair looks, or you think that was an ugly cross stitch, just don't tell them. Skip it. Go on to the next thing. Be nice. Everybody's really, really nice. It took a lot of work to make those videos and to show you their things. And sometimes it takes an awful lot of guts too. So please be kind. So remember the etiquette. And And don't just post because you want to win something. If they do something that you really like, or they've got a cross stitch that you really liked, or a finish that was really cute, make sure that you comment on that. It's always nice to hear the comments and to see what everybody has to say about the things that you're doing, because sometimes you might think it was fabulous, but you don't get a lot, and you think nobody else liked it because nobody commented. So if everybody comments, then it's so much more fun. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking up some of the cross stitchers that I follow, just so that I can give you a few to start with. Okay, like I said, I really, really love Christy from Crosshatch Quilts. She's probably one of my favorites to watch. She's got a beautiful backdrop. I mean, she's always got a cute quilt up on the wall, and her cross stitches are just beautiful. I just love them. Another one are Priscilla and Chelsea from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. They are a hoot to watch. They're so fun. And the Proper Stitcher, she always has beautiful things. Finally, a farm girl just started doing some. Cherry Hill Designs, she always posts her new designs, and her cross stitches are darling. They are so stinking cute. You're going to want every one of those that she does. Country Stitchers, those girls are friends, and they've been friends for years, and it's fun to see everything that they come up with. Plus they do house tours sometimes. Oh, and backing up, Priscilla and Chelsea, they love to garden, so they do garden tours, and they do a house tour, which is really, really fun, because then you see how she displays all of those cross stitches that she has in her videos, you know, that she's doing. And so it's fun to see, because sometimes she'll do them on a big container and you'll go, oh my God, where's she gonna put that? You know, so this way you get to see how she uses it in her decor, and it makes it so nice. Another one that does that and does really, really cute things is Java Girl Stitches. I just love her too. She's really fun. Oh, Hands On Designs. I love her stuff, and now she's got a YouTube. Shows you her stuff, and she always has dinner or wine with her husband. They're kind of fun to watch too. But anyway, all you have to do is go to Flosstube, go up in the top right hand corner where there's a little magnifying glass, and put in Flosstube, and it will pull up everybody who has a Flosstube. So what it will look like is this. See, so you'll get a list of, can you see that very well? And you can just scroll down and see all the different people and all the different floss tubes that, and it's so fun because they show you their work in progress. They also will show you their finishes, and the finishes are what I love to watch. In fact, some of them, they're so talented, I really just want to see their finishes. The other thing is you're going to get hooked on bags. I mean, because you got to have a bag to put everything in. So DotDotGoose makes a lot of really cute bags. You can make your own bags, and there's a lot of tutorials online that have directions on how to make your projects bags. Because if you're a quilter and you're cross stitching, you know there's a fine line. Everything has to be cute. So you've got to have the needle minder, you've got to have the floss keepers, you've got to have all the fun, cute things that go with it. So it makes it more enjoyable if you do those things. So when you're looking, you're not only going to be writing down what patterns you want, but you're going to see things like stands. And those are all individual choices. There's no such thing as a right or wrong way. Some people will stitch in their hands, some will use hoops, some will use stands. You know, it's just a matter of preference. If it's a really stiff fabric, I like to do it in hand, but if it's not, I generally like to put it on a hoop, not a round hoop. I'm not real good with those, but I do have some other choices. I have quite a few different ways that I like to do it. Oh, another one that does really cute ones is Celeste Creates. She's got quite a few. Lori Holt has Flosstubes. I think she does hers once a month. And she does beautiful work too. She's right there with Christy, I think. They both do wonderful things. So it's just kind of fun to go down and scroll through. There's a lot of them that will do S-A-L, and it's supposed to be sew-alongs. I call them shop-alongs because that's what happened to me. I watched them and I didn't sew along, but I went out and bought everything they showed. So they're not S-A-L shop, so-longs, they're shop-alongs. And, but they do those. So sometimes if you want to kind of keep up with somebody, or do it with somebody, you can kind of join in on some of the so-longs that they do. I know Fat Quarter Shop does quite a few of those. And Kimberly will even show you how to do some of the stitching. So it's really nice if you're a beginner to follow her. There's a lot of people that are very, very advanced, but don't let them intimidate you. Sit down and watch. I mean, it gives you something to strive for. Plus, you can see a lot of patterns that you don't normally see. Because if you've noticed, different parts of the country, you'll see, you know, some are popular, like Blackbird Designs and Prairie Schooler and things like that. But on the whole, there's different things in different areas, and there's a lot of small designers that you don't normally see. Another one is lindystitches. She has some of the cutest patterns that come out, and so she's kind of fun to watch. And there's people from all over the world. You'll get to see some from England, some from Australia, you know, some from the southern states here. It's just fun. It's a fun community, and it's a fun thing to join into. So once you start, just remember, be prepared, because you are going to be shopping and you are going to be buying, and some people, you want every single thing they do. Oh, the other thing I do in my notebooks, I almost forgot. A lot of them will do color conversions. If they do color conversions, sometimes they'll tell you that they put it on their website or their blog, or they'll put it below. There's a couple things that I do on those, because what happens to me is by the time I get the pattern, I forgot who it was who mentioned the pattern, because I watched so many Flosstubes. And I remember that I wanted to do it in their colors, but I don't know what they were. So sometimes if they, like Lori will sometimes hold hers up in front of the camera, and I always do a screenshot. But if it says it's on their website or something, when I write down the pattern, underneath I will write where the conversion's at, if it's on their blog or their website. So your notebook is not only for your shopping list, but it's also for references once you get those patterns. And the other thing I do is, if I'm ordering floss for a pattern that I have, I make sure to write down what pattern I ordered the floss for, because sometimes, especially right now with the way things are in shipping, it might be 2 or 3 weeks before I see those flosses. Well, I don't remember what I ordered it for. I can't remember what pattern that was for. So make sure that you write down, you ordered this on this date from this company, and it was these flosses and what pattern they're for. Because I can't tell you how many times at first that happened to me. I kept getting these bags of flosses and I couldn't remember for the life of me what it was for. Then you sit there and go through Flosstube again, trying to figure out what one looks anything like those flosses that you have in your hand. So the floss toss is now on my desk, trying to figure out by watching Flosstube what I bought the flosses for. So make a note. Use your notebook for that as well. You just want to make sure that you are somewhat organized in it, because believe me, when you have to order flosses, or you're waiting for, let's say maybe you're going to put it on a special dish or something and you're waiting for that. If you don't write down what it was going to, in 3 weeks when you get it, you're not going to remember. So make sure to write those things down. And sometimes I save my lists, because later on I might need to go back and see what those conversions, where those conversions were at, in case somebody asks me. Now, another good idea, which I have not done yet, is get one of the cross-stitcher books, where you can keep track of what cross stitches you're working on, what your changes were, right in a little book. And I think that's a great idea. I just haven't bought one yet. I don't know why. I bought everything else. I bought every kind of needle. I bought bags from everybody. I bought needle threaders. I bought stands. I got a little carried away. But it's okay. I'm going to stitch, and we're going to have fun, and it'll be great. So this Flosstube is just to basically get you started on Flosstube. I will put in an insert of what happened to me and all of my things. Plus, the other thing is once we got going and I started getting all this stuff, I decided, oh, I can make a pattern. So I have a couple of free patterns on my website, which is at myrosecottage.com. and one is a lamb that I will show you in the video. It's 3 little lambs, and then we also did stockings, and they turned out really cute. Let me grab one or two and I'll show you. So this is one, and we did these cute little stockings, and I finished them the way that Priscilla and Chelsea finish. So I watched one of their YouTubes and we finished them like that. And these are our Christmas tree ornaments, but it was the funnest pattern to make, and my husband actually stitched them for me. And so he said, he's real funny, because he said, well, if we're gonna do patterns and I'm the stitcher and you're the designer, then we need a name for our pattern business. And I said, oh, okay, what should we name it? And he says, well, marriage is 50-50, right? And I said, yeah. And he goes, let's call it One Horse, One Rabbit. I said, good idea. So it's One Horse, One Rabbit pattern design. So please stop by my blog and check them out. And we'll have some more coming. It won't be for a little bit, but we will have more coming. And if you liked the video, please push like below and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'd love to have you come back and visit. So thanks for coming by, and enjoy Flosstube. Bye.